So today's Meet the Maker prompt is product range. So I wanted to kind of show you some of the art that I've done over the years. My acrylic paintings are the ones that you see most often on my social media and out in the galleries. This is, so these are some of the mosaic projects that I've done, the waterfalls this past year, and then the Around the Finger Lakes the year before. I've also done some larger works too. So that's the one that's the bigger one in the back there is one I did of Laramie, Wyoming when I was living there. And then I also have all sorts of drawings, so I thought it'd be a fun time to show you some of those. So these ones right here are from a project I called my 29 project, and it was a daily art project that I did. It was a bunch of different drawings and paintings and sketches and quotes and stuff from, I used daily prompts to pick the theme of whatever the work was going to be for the day. So these are some of my favorites from that. And then I mentioned the other day that before I moved back to this area I did pastels. So I did some larger pastels, and the glare there's a little bit of a glare on it. It does have the high quality non-glare glass, but it's kind of sunny. So this is one of the ones I did. I did it with red and green pastel. And then here's another one that I did also, which this one doesn't have as much. I don't think the glass is non-glare, or not the same same type as the one that was the black. So since I was pulling out some older drawings, I thought it would be fun to pull out my old folder of work that I did. I took a class while I was in Laramie, and so so the folder traveled with me back from Wyoming, so 1,600 miles in the car, quite a few years ago now, and it's just kind of been sitting in my studio. So this is actually the first time that I've brought them out, which they, other than the one, they survived pretty well with traveling that far and being stored for a while. So these are a couple different ones that I did. There was a lime study that we did. Let me get a little bit closer. So this one, I believe, was charcoal. And then this one was a film project for a drawing class, and it's actually one of the favorite things that I've done. And it was I think it's transmutation is the word. So the idea was to take something and then have it transform within the painting. So that was really fun to come up with the idea and then to implement it. And this one is in lithocran, which if you know what lithocran is, or if you don't know what lithocran is, it's kind of like, it's a wax, almost like a normal, like a crayon that you would, a kid would play with, but a different kind of quality. And so basically there's no erasing, there's no, basically whatever you put on the page stays on the page. It's kind of a daunting medium if you're someone who likes to erase and fix things. And then I also did a portrait class, so these are some of my favorites from that class. We started out with black and white, and this is this one's actually one of my favorite ones, and it's the same model as the one that the mad scientist is. So this particular model, it was So the class, we actually had live models to work from, which was really neat. And we would dress up the models kind of to go with whatever theme for that particular project. So this particular model was one that came back a bunch of different times. So here's 2 drawings that resulted from the first time that he was with us. So there was one that was in charcoal and then another one that's in pastel. And so I need to actually frame that one because it's one of my favorites. And this was another one that we did. And my favorite thing about this was making the fabric of her dress and kind of doing it in a way so it gives that kind of silky, reflective quality to it. And then here's another one that we did. And this one is actually done on sandpaper. That's not the best angle. Let me see if I can get a little bit better. So this is actually on sandpaper, which it's pretty much what it sounds like. Is not the same thing as you know, construction sandpaper, but the same texture, and so it grabs the pastel differently. So it was really neat to try that out. And so this particular model had warm light from inside the room and then cool light from the outside window, so it was a lot of fun to play with the reflections. And then, so this drawing didn't really, it didn't survive as well as the other ones. So I'll have to play with it a little bit and see if I can get it to flatten out. But it is a self-portrait that I did. Just for fun, not necessarily for the class itself, but so that one's a fun one, and I might be able to frame it or something so I can kind of preserve it a little bit better. Like I said, it was in the folder and in the car, and so considering how much travel the drawings have done, they actually came out pretty well. So yeah, here's some of the things that I've done. I also have the ink drawings. I don't have my sketchbook. I was trying to grab it, but I don't really have my sketchbook ready to look at the moment. But so these are some of my favorites, and let me know if you have any questions or anything about it.